Justice says 6 out of 10 prisoners released in 2012 were rearrested within 3 years. The bad news is that those numbers are still high. Thousands of people caught in a cycle of being in and out of jail.
To put them back into incarceration status, it could be a really big setback in their mind.
CDCR finally released its 2018 recidivism report, which failed to include crucial information about why so few inmates participated in rehabilitation and why their programs didn't appear to have an impact on recidivism.
I would ask those people in society to please try and walk a mile in someone's shoes.
Central Oregon, Deschutes County has the 3rd highest recidivism rate in Oregon. 48% of people who are getting out of prison are convicted of a new crime within the first 3 years of being released.
Folks who don't have a ride get a bus ticket up to Portland, then they stay the night in Portland if Department of Corrections gets them a hotel, otherwise they have to pay for it themselves. Then they hop on the bus the next afternoon, hop on the breeze, and come to Deschutes County.
Why are people who are getting out of prison still committing a crime? And I believe it's because there's a lack of a sense of belonging.
Changing Patterns is an organization that assists returning citizens navigate the barriers and obstacles of re-entry.
There's so much media coverage and popularity around prison reform. BBC did an article a few years back that said 1 in 2 Americans are directly affected by the incarceration system.
These people are returning to our community.
Successful reentry starts in prison. So there's this opportunity to create self-sufficiency within a system that creates dependence. I realized there was all these resources available here in Central Oregon, but they weren't talking to each other.
They don't know that the support is actually out here when they return.
They know there's a process to getting a house, there's a process to finding employment, there's a process to buy a car, get insurance. All these things don't exist in prison. And when you have someone who's been in prison for a significant amount of time, imagine 10 years of never paying rent, never driving, and then all of a sudden, you cross this gate and now you're responsible for all these things.
The most difficult thing is asking for help, and it only gets easier after that.
Currently, Changing Patterns is providing a project called the Moving Forward Project. And this is safe transport for people who are getting out of prison who don't have a ride home.
I love that it helps me bring some value to some of the madness and insanity of my past, I guess.
Everyone should have a mentor for relationships, for health, for finance, for business, and maybe for your professional stuff, and then hobbies, whatever.
When I pass on, this information to the folks that I've helped so far, just in those 2 examples, they're passing it along to other people, and then it just grows and grows exponentially, and that's what we hope that Changing Patterns will be. The more healthy people you can surround yourself around during that transition into re-entry, the better off you're going to be.
To get a chance to meet somebody at the gate with donations and items, be able to have the package that was given to us by the citizens is huge. You give them an opportunity and you treat them with a little bit of love and grace and some respect, and let that grow. I think it'll mean a lot, I do.
With Changing Patterns, we found out, we want to be the connections.
So the donations would fund the Moving Forward project, so getting backpacks, cell phones, hygiene kits, day planners, journals. That's also going to help with buying books for folks inside prison. The book, The Returning Citizen Survival Guide, which Frank Patka authored and we got published, is going to be a very important tool for these folks to have inside prison, so they can create a plan before they get out.
It's an interesting time because you have this moment that you've been looking forward to for the whole time you're down, right? You're talking about the day, you're talking about the moment when I get out, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna eat, what's my first meal, who I'm gonna call first. And there's all this excitement that we think about while we're in prison. The day arrives and it's one of the most uncomfortable days ever. There's an overwhelming feeling, definitely I'm sure, based on the amount of time you've done.
Changing patterns is important to me for giving back to the society. Going through a program, I learned that things were given to me freely and I should return that favor.
It would have been helpful, they asked us in my peer support class, if we could have used somebody in this role, and I look back at that and I think, yes, it would have been nice. So it's a way to give back and support somebody, to help them fill the gaps that they might not even know are coming, you know what I mean? And just be their friend, you know?
But also because this community cares, and we're really lucky to live in a community like this.
People can support changing patterns through donations, showing up to our events that we're going to be putting on. They can volunteer to be a peer support navigator. There also is opportunities for folks to reach out to their community, friends and family who may have that connection with a returned citizen, to contact us and tell us about their story and, you know, some of the struggles that they had, so we can better prepare the guys who are coming into our programs better.
The experience is a lot better when you have someone going with you.